It's the Wildcard Podcast. Let's get started.
Welcome back to the Go Live Studios in Phoenix, Arizona. My name is James Mackey alongside Jason Cousineau, Chance Arnold, Curt Arnold, and Chance LeBlanc. You're listening to episode 14 of the Wildcard Podcast.
That was crazy, James.
That was really crazy. I knew I was going to do it one of these days. Let's talk about the MLB for a little bit, I guess. Let's spend some time doing this. First of all, the Home Run Derby. Second of all, All-Star Weekend, which includes the Home Run Derby.
Very
the
exciting.
Futures game, which I think Chance has a lot to talk about. He seems to know a lot about prospects. I'm excited to see what you have. Snubs from the All-Star game. That'll be one that we'll kind of talk about too. But let's start with the obvious, I think. First of all, 3 Diamondbacks make the cut for the All-Star roster.
We're back. A fourth was snubbed. Mr. Cato Marte.
Corbin Carroll makes it as a starting outfielder.
Oh, yeah.
Zac Gallen, we're trying to decide if he's going to start the game.
He has a chance. I don't think so. But
I think they start him Saturday.
Yeah.
There's no point in being like, oh, we're not going to start him for the All-Star. No, you don't get points from the All-Star game.
He'll be there, though.
Yeah, he'll be there. That's all that matters.
He's a fifth inning guy.
he's a fifth inning kind of guy. Yeah. And Lourdes Gurriel Jr., who was also on the board, put it in, but he got beat out.
In your power, baby.
It was Mookie.
That's just LA. That's just LA.
favoritism.
Yeah. Kershaw gets removed from the roster. Trout gets hurt. He's out.
The blister on Shohei Ohtani's finger.
He's not playing?
No.
Wow.
He has a blister.
I did not know he wasn't playing.
I mean, I don't think it's like pretty.
He played last night.
I thought he had.
That's what I thought.
Oh, sorry. He's not pitching. Like, he might play, but I doubt he's.
Well, it doesn't matter if he plays.
I heard he had a
hits.
pretty bad blister on his finger that he had to get taken out of the game the other night.
Boo.
So he probably could play, as in on the field or hit, but I don't know.
Mid-season form for the Angels right now.
Serious.
Yeah,
it seems to happen. I mean, they're
Just 2 weeks ago, they were saying, "Oh, we might not trade Ohtani," and then a week later, they were like, "Yeah,
even
we
if
might trade
Smith
Ohtani."
went off.
He's gone.
It's just so hard because the Angels look. I mean, the AL West looks winnable for the Angels this year. Mind you,
They're coming in third place at best.
yeah, mind you, the Astros still haven't really hit their stride quite yet. We're still getting there, and they still have a whole half of the season. But
I don't think the Angels.
Trout just got injured again, which we've seen really commonly that happens.
Such a shit
I
team.
just think the Astros are going to come out on top in the AL West. There's just, I mean, that happens, seems to happen every year.
Well, Brian said it the other couple of weeks ago that their best player, their Rangers' best player is Eovaldi, right?
Eovaldi, yeah.
Yeah,
I think the Rangers are going to win it, and I will say that because they're not playing around. They're the first person to make a move. They just got Chapman, who was having a great bounce back season, a month early.
They lost 10 in their last 15 or something like that. Or was that
the Rangers?
Yeah, haven't they lost the Rays?
I mean, you would expect. I would expect them to be this good. Honestly, if you're paying
they're
that much money to all these guys, they're paying $500 million between the 2 best players, and then they got Garcia. So I mean, I would expect them to be this good with the payroll they got. But good for them. It's been a minute since they've been on top for.
It has been
that division.
Yeah, they just lost 3 out of 4 to the Astros a week ago.
Yeah, but that's Houston. Everyone knows how Houston.
That's what I'm saying.
I hope you got to beat Houston to beat.
I hope those 2 teams can find a way to maybe play each other in the playoffs. That would the first round after wild card.
Yeah,
that would be a nice matchup.
They're a great ball club.
I think, and this is something I've talked to a couple people about. It seems like a lot of people are mad that the Rangers have so many representatives in the All-Star game. I mean, you have Jonah Heim behind the plate, Semien at second. Is it Young or Jung at third base? And then Seager at short.
I was gonna say, yeah, they put a lot. That whole infield is all.
Man, they have one of the best infields in the AL.
And Josh Jung is a rookie, by the way. He's coming for that Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, great card on MLB The Show 21, I believe. Future Stars. It's a great card.
It just so happens that Julio Rodriguez didn't make it into the game.
He got plugged in though, didn't he?
Yeah, after Jordan got hurt.
Yeah,
he's out. Quite. Yeah, yeah. You and I both know. That's
all I'll say is I think he just got that money and just. I don't know.
I think Bo Bichette should be starting over Seager.
Jordan's got an oblique injury.
Okay, Lane Thomas it is.
Stop it.
I'd love to see Lane Thomas in the All-Star game. I think there's a lot of underrated guys that may have gotten snubbed. I mean, me and Jason were just saying Lane Thomas, Jake Fraley on the Reds, who's having a monster season.
Crazy year.
I think it's a popularity contest though, because
yeah,
right, definitely.
I think it's crazy also how they had Wander Franco was snubbed,
Yeah.
And then they're like, put him in at the end. But
Small ass market for the Rays. I mean, they
best team in the league too. And
best team, but they also
The A's have an all-star.
barely any attendance.
Brent Rooker.
I was at a Rays game
Rays.
last year, and that stadium is run down, and there was barely anybody there.
Oh, it's terrible.
Tampa?
Yeah.
They've been trying to get to downtown
So I think it's
for years.
just a popularity
Tampa.
contest with the All-Star game. I mean, even if you look at Gurriel Jr., he definitely deserved his spot, but a lot of his votes definitely came from Blue Jays fans, which helped. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that just has to do with his popularity with Blue Jays, and also now with the D-backs.
When that was announced, I was kind of just thinking about the trade that was made in the offseason when they traded Varsho for
Beautiful.
Gabriel Moreno and Lourdes Gurriel. A lot of people were like, "Oh, darn, Dalton Varsho had a great end of the season. Like, he could be a great pitcher."
Great rookie year.
Well, meanwhile, Dalton Varsho is batting, I believe, around 229,
like two-
and
Yeah,
he's
221.
not really having a great season. And then Gabriel Moreno has been one of the greatest defensive catchers in the league this season. So I think the D-backs definitely won that trade by a long shot,
Easily.
because I could easily see Varsho going.
And it's just crazy. Like I would always say at the beginning of this year, how much I've just been loving Lourdes, the way he plays, the way he hits in specific situations. And then he had that 27-game hit streak and then fell out for a little. He was a little quiet. And now he's just back. And with him heating up, Rivera has been hitting over 300. He's been amazing whenever we need him at third for Rojas.
Corbin almost got 20.
And Moreno is just, like I said, he's been like Chance said, he's been the best catcher that we could have in the league.
Carson Kelly shouldn't see the field.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Maybe once or twice.
I asked, look, man, there's a reason. If you go back a couple episodes, I look Preston in the face and I say, in your eyes, does Carson Kelly slot back into the lineup when he's healthy? And the answer is no. The answer should be no.
Gabriel Moreno is ranked number 1 in baseball for throwing runners out, and you're putting Carson Kelly in.
He does. I love it.
Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
He's a stud, and he's young. He's very young. Just was in that Toronto farm system.
Yeah, which is hard to break out of
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Got a lot of
Really
talent
good.
there.
down there. Yeah, I bet. It's the first half of the season's been, I mean, we're still not through. We have what you said. I think we have four more games.
Saturday,
We have 4 games left as of right now.
Yeah, Sunday.
And there's still so many things that obviously could change. You know, the Diamondbacks could go 0-4. The Dodgers could go 4-0 and take over the lead in the NL West. Or, you know, a lot could happen in the span of the next 4 games. But as of right now, the way it looks, division leaders in the NL, Atlanta in the East, Cincinnati in the Central, and Arizona in the West. Arizona was, I think, one of the first teams to 50 wins. Atlanta's at 58.
So good this year. Arizona.
40.
Atlanta's on fire. They've won like 10 or 11.
But
Orioles just got to
here's my thing.
Marlins.
We can talk all we want about the first half and be like, oh, they're going to do great. You know, they still have to get through the second half of the season. You have to go through
This is where it all matters.
the harder part of the schedule, like we were talking about, Cincinnati, Toronto. You have to play the teams that are going to play. You still have to play the Dodgers again. You got to play the Giants again, which Chance, you seem to be pretty high on them.
Even the Cardinals, you can't match out all these big teams.
I mean,
Big names.
there's still the second half, they could just completely implode for all we know.
What do you guys think the Reds do? Because they're in a sticky situation because they're obviously exceeding expectations by a mile. Like they're projected around 60 wins this year. They got all the talents pretty much called up. They have
Projected around 60 wins.
this season. They were.
Oh, I was
And
thinking they're at 50.
I know, and they're already almost at 50. And so like the situation they're in is like they have all their pitching prospects almost called up. Almost all their guys are called up besides like a couple of like Inciarte and Marte. They're 2 top prospects that are still down there. But like, what do they do?
You're going to run out of talent.
That's the thing too. It's like, what do you trade for some pieces, or do you just let it ride and maybe you just do what the Orioles did, not force anything?
Weird because I feel like they kind of have to somewhat play like what the Orioles did and not rush it because
Because that was
they're just doing so good out of nowhere.
yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like they're leading that Central, and that Central is like the NL Central's one division that I just see is just kind of That's that 500.
I think they're gonna win it at this point.
Exactly.
I don't see.
Do they bunker up a little? Maybe bullpen?
I've seen scenarios where they say they're going to trade Diaz, the closer they got, Edwin Diaz's brother, but I don't know if that would make sense. I mean, funny enough, when you say Baltimore, the same situation last year, they did the same thing. They traded Jorge
Mateo.
Not Jorge Mateo. Jorge Lopez,
the Pirate
closer, and he was an all-star that season. So, I mean, they could do that just to get some more longevity with some guys in depth. But, I mean, they also got money.
That's what I'm saying. They have a lot of cap, and I feel like, especially
Rose has a lot of faith in them for no reason, I think, at the beginning of the year.
We did clown him for that. He put the ticket for them to win the World Series on when that casino opened up, and
it's crazy. Now
it's just
I retweeted. I was like, Pete Rose doing things he shouldn't do again, and then
it's just the energy in Cincinnati there too. You see, they're selling out. Man. They are selling out tickets. I've never seen a Reds. I know, but they'll always sell. But I've never seen a Reds stadium this packed all the time.
Opening day
for a month.
The Super Bowl, bro.
The fans are they're really into it too, and you can see they all really rally behind Ellie and India and.
If the Reds win the World Series, should Pete Rose be inducted in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, that's how he gets it.
We overlooked your ability to choose winners. You're it.
You're on the staff.
Yeah,
get him on the staff.
Put him on. The thing with that is that like there's only one division all year, and I keep bringing this up because it's really fun to talk about, that has been above 500. 1 through 5,
AL East.
The AL East. Somehow, the Yankees are still out Judge, right?
Yep. And Rodon. Back tomorrow.
Which, really?
Back tomorrow.
I have not seen anything on him. I love him.
Really?
He was a White Sox. But
yeah, I remember watching his no-hitter the other year.
Yeah.
2 years
against the Guardians. At the time they were Indians. It doesn't matter. The AL East is stacked. Tampa Bay is at 57 wins. Baltimore's at 50. Yankees at 48. Toronto at 46, including one against my White Sox, or 2 maybe. And then Boston is at 44. So there's another division in baseball that could be very good and very, very scary come playoff time. The question is, does an AL East team face an NL West team or an NL Central team in the World Series?
Well, we all know what the Yankees like to do in the playoffs.
That's true.
I think this year is very like the NBA, I think, a little bit. It's very hard to predict.
Yeah.
And I also think I've learned the last couple of years watching playoff baseball is that it doesn't matter if you won 110 games, doesn't matter if you won 85 games, doesn't matter if you're a wild card team, doesn't matter if you're the top seed. Like, none of that matters. It's just about who's playing good baseball at the right time and who gets that spark under them.
October.
Yeah, I don't think anyone had like the Reds or the Diamondbacks or the,
No, it is July, but
being this good.
But I think that this is going to be a year where there's going to be a surprise team, and I think everybody loves it too. I mean, look, last year Philly had a mediocre start to their season and then kind of turned it around,
44-38,
and they went on a run. And I mean, same with the Padres. No one expected them to beat the Dodgers. They got hot at the right time, and the bats got hot, and they moved on. So it's very hard to predict, I think.
There's just a lot of teams heating up right now, and there's a lot of teams cooling down. Like even the Rays in their past like 20 games have been 11-9, 12-8. They've lost a lot. The Phillies just won that series.
They're on a 4-game losing
Bay. Yeah, the Phillies are. They sweeped, I think. So it's really interesting because you see who we all thought, the Rays being this dynamite team,
powerhouse. Yeah.
Don't have all the names like the Braves do, but they still always win games. For like the past 4 years, they've been that 100-win team in the AL East that everybody's just like overlooks.
Yeah.
But
how long is McClanahan out? Like 15 days or something?
Yeah, I think so. It was a 20-day IL.
It doesn't matter. Pitchers don't normally come back from the IL the same.
Don't worry, they got like 4 more of him. So
that's just
no.
So
Let's be
hard.
honest about this for a second. Tyler Glasnow goes on the IL after. I mean,
pitcher is too.
Sticky substance ban last year. Mm-hmm. He complains about it, and his game plummets, and then he comes back and he's not the same guy.
Mm-mm.
It just doesn't happen where pitchers. It does depend on that. You're correct. You're very right about that. But it's very rare that a pitcher will go to the IL and then come back and be the exact same person.
It's just too hard. And
Johnson do a perfect game at 40, James.
That's the big
move.
It's the Braves, I think, right?
Wow.
It's just hard because the Braves have such a dominating lineup. It's kind of like the NBA where we all talk about these other teams and we all just know the Braves are good. They're like the Nuggets.
Their whole lineup pretty much on the All-Star team.
Exactly. They got Acuna, who never misses a beat. Olsen, who's he's
MVP frontrunner.
amazing since he's been to Atlanta. And Strider, I mean, he's what, 22, 23?
First pitcher to 200 strikeouts this year.
And he's insane.
Yeah, he is ridiculous.
It's just it's going to be interesting to see after this break what teams are after this All-Star break, which teams are going to keep their foot on the gas. Some teams are going to start slowing. What moves are going to be made? I feel like there's a lot of teams that could use just a little bullpen help, and they're right there. They're all on that cusp of playoffs or playing really good, contending baseball.
I think there's a number of teams that the break helps them, and the break doesn't help them. So, like, I think, like, the D-backs, for example, I think this break will help them. Like, I think they just need to get to the break as soon as possible healthy and just reset. Bats have kind of cooled down. I mean, they had to come down to earth at some point. But, like, other teams like Miami, Cincinnati,
Marlins, yeah.
Marlins are on fire right now. They just swept the Cardinals, or they took 3 out of 4. They're playing today again. But, I mean, there's teams like that are on crazy streaks right now, and it's like this All-Star break, you get 5 days off, and then you got to play another game, and you're just like, oh.
I think even the Phillies have won their last 11 or 12 road games straight. So it comes at a weird time to the break, which is why I love how it's always in the middle, because you see these teams that are in these runs, and then all of a sudden after the break, they could be ice cold, and you could see ice cold teams like the Cardinals all of a sudden, who could somehow push way back up and somehow sneak in to that NL Central conversation. You just can't count them out, especially with all those big names each team has now.
And there is a lot that will come of, obviously, not only the break and how teams react to the break, but the trade deadline. That's the big thing, I think. Right
Huge.
Now. We saw last year a lot of good moves, I think, get made that helped boost Philly into the playoffs. Obviously, I hate to be
Marsh.
That's kind of the way I feel about it. I feel like Marsh was a really good ad for them. If the Diamondbacks, you guys have talked about it endlessly. If the Diamondbacks don't make bullpen moves, you feel like they're not going to do very well in the playoff. They don't have. I would agree.
It's a rotation moves. Yeah, starters.
I would agree. I think. Let's talk about that first. Rapping on Zach Davies is hard.
Oh,
because he's getting better. And on 4th of July, he did put up almost the exact same.
He's doing so good through those first 4 innings.
He put up the exact same line as Scherzer, though. So, sure, that's not an ideal outing for Scherzer, but it's more than that for
Davies.
You know, he's trying to build himself back up into being the guy that can be relied on. And he's the 4th starter in the lineup right now?
I feel like
we just capitalized on it before.
I could see them moving him to the pen. I could really see that, just because to get his confidence back. I mean, he's trying. He's from here. He wanted to play here. He had a great season. Well, not great season, but I mean, it was a mediocre season last year. But I think the oblique injury just kind of set him back. But I mean, he's starting. The last 2 starts, he's looked good.
I'd rather have him in there than Fott.
For sure. Yeah.
Jameson's was starting or no?
Who?
Or am I thinking the right name there?
No. Because that's what you're talking about.
The guy who was like was a starter, and they put him in the bullpen. Young guy with the cleats.
Oh, Kyle Nelson?
Yes.
No, not him.
He's been great in the pen.
Keep him there.
He has.
Keep him there.
Dre Jameson. Is that?
Oh,
yeah.
I don't think is he still in
he's still
I was right on the name there. I was not sure. Okay, he's in the pen.
Dre Day.
I think when Tommy Henry and Nelson started doing pretty well, they didn't know what to do with him.
Well, maybe they could switch. Well, you're saying Davies and Jameson. That might work.
No, keep him. I would keep Jameson in the pen. If he's doing good there, keep him there. Don't.
What?
If you're going to send Davies in, bring up Fott again.
I feel like I'd rather have Davies in over Fott. Fott's been really just
so your boy
all over the fucking place.
Fine for the races.
Finally down there. He needs to stay down there forever.
So who do the D-backs trade then? Is it Carson Kelly and some other person for
Merrill Kelly and Geraldo Perdomo? I'm just kidding.
I like.
They're on that ad I just saw. That's why.
I think if they're going to trade anybody,
Carson and Pavin.
I don't know.
I've seen what other team takes.
I've seen a lot of things. Like I've seen a lot of
outfielders.
A lot of Jordan Lawler talk.
Be a team taking Pavin Smith
because he's been sitting down there, but almost kind of broken out a little bit.
Kyle just got the call, didn't he?
He's back.
I think they've also been calling up these guys and sending them back down, just to kind of experimenting on where guys are at in the season. I mean,
now's the time to do that, though.
Mm-hmm.
And so
it's more than
you evaluate that, and you're like, here's the sample size. This is what he can do. He's played last year, and so then you got a month to play, and then some teams look at him and trade. I think the D-backs are definitely going to trade for a starter and 2 relievers. That's my prediction. A closer and a middle guy and a starter.
I agree.
I don't know who it'll be, but they're going to have to give up something, and that's what you have to do. I mean,
Mitch
Keller. Yeah.
Surprising that I'm surprised by him this year.
Me too.
He's not someone that I've really liked in the league. I didn't think he was ready, but he's dealing this year. He looks good this year. That would be that's just the hard thing though about it. You know, you can trade like someone from the outfield, whether it's Pavin as DH or, you know, even Longoria could be a trade piece come the deadline. Sounds crazy to say.
Oh no, that's not.
I've been loving him.
No,
but
keep Longo.
Teams that need a third baseman.
We've always been putting Walker on that kind of
that's tough
on that block too.
I was thinking about that too.
Come deadline season, we've always like tried to look for something to move him.
I think Josh Rojas gets traded.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And I hate to say this because I don't know how Torrey would feel about this, but I think
he loves him.
Nick Ahmed. He's been on the team for 10 years.
I was going to say that.
D-back,
an old guy.
Great defensive player, but like he cannot hit for his life.
We could get some pitchers.
I just think that
Nick Ahmed.
I just think that Torrey, his relationship with Torrey is just, you can't trade him. But I mean, you have to the feelings have to be put aside. So
that's what I think. I think some of these feelings have to be put aside, and these players like Ahmed, who's been with us for a decade, won Gold Glove with us.
I think he's been there since like 2013.
Yeah. Carson Kelly, who's been with us for years, Pavin.
And that's another guy, like, I it's frustrating because, like, I don't think they would trade Carson Kelly because this is my opinion, but I think their mindset is, oh, we got Carson Kelly back for Paul Goldschmidt. We can't trade Carson Kelly. He was the main piece of that trade.
To be honest with you,
that's my mindset.
I didn't think they would trade Dalton Varsho.
They had to do something. It was either Varsho or McCarthy. So
they did very well.
And then they got rid.
Yeah, I guess I'll take.
Then they got rid of Garrett and Varsho.
And Stone Garrett, yeah. They just DFA'd him, too.
Stone stays
out normally really good at trading away young talent that ends up being.
So who do you think
it's Scherzer, Bauer?
Who do you think it's traded? Like, what big names?
I think for the D-backs?
Or just overall?
Overall.
So overall.
I think
Dylan Cease.
I think Cease gets traded.
I'm going to hate that. But if he comes here, I would love for him to be here. I would love nothing more than for Dylan Cease to be a Diamondback.
I don't want to think that the Phillies would give him up because he's been killing it recently, but I think Tyjon Walker, the Phillies might find something for him.
That contract is hefty.
It sucks.
I remember when he was
but I think it was before yesterday, even though when he won yesterday in Tampa Bay, he was only giving up 1 run a game in his past 4 games. So you see some teams will see that and see, oh, he's hitting his stride. He's locking in. He's going to be perfect for us for the second half. There's going to be teams that, I don't know, they'll bite. I have a feeling this trade deadline is going to be a lot like the NFL and the NBA over the past couple of years. There's going to be a lot of moves.
This is definitely going to be one of the bigger ones we've seen.
I think it's because there's so many contenders and so many teams that have jumped off the table, and they're like, oh, whoa, this team's better than we thought. A couple of names that I think is Jordan Montgomery, Cardinals lefty, decent season. I think Cease, Giolito, Lance Lynn, Kopech are all going to be available for trades. Even some of those guys in the bullpen, Kendall Graveman.
Liam's hurt. No one's going to take him.
Liam Hendricks. His name's been mentioned a little bit.
Reynaldo.
He's back on the IL for what now?
Elbow inflammation. He hurt his elbow. And then Kenyon Middleton out of their bullpen's been shut down.
Paul Blackman, a name to look at as well in the Athletics. He was an all-star last season. He's been injured all this year, but he's a great pitcher. Athletics are obviously going to trade.
You know what? I think we should just trade the Athletics to like some European baseball league and take one of their teams.
I mean, maybe even
I feel like
the Mets.
It's sad, man. I feel bad for their fan base, to be honest with you. It's disappointing.
It is tough, yeah.
Now it's just going to be away fans going to Vegas for their games.
Even didn't Scherzer say he would he would waive his no trade clause? Yeah. So
go back to the team that drafted him.
Who knows, dude? There's going to be some big names out in this trade pool.
Hey, by the way, Brandon Vaught just won Player of the Month for June in the Pacific Coast League of AAA, by the way. So
wow. So he can do that perfectly in Reno, but as soon as he comes up,
like I said earlier,
to Chase Field, he's given up 7 runs.
You know, with a 3.16 ERA and 5 starts, 25 runs over.
Let's see how
9 earned runs over 25 and 2/3 innings with 28 strikeouts.
Wow, that is exactly what I want to see at Chase Field. But it's usually 7 earned runs, 12 hits, and 3 innings.
Yeah. Some guys might just be better in the minors.
And that is because it's just...
Because it is easier.
It's easier. You have so many younger kids or a bunch of draft people or prospects. And
talk about Alek Manoah, poor guy. He's getting
clubbed.
Single A ball.
He's getting clubbed.
Pressure is what you put in tires.
He's getting clubbed by
pressure.
Guys who got drafted last year. I mean, guys that are like literally younger than us.
Oh, you guys are ruthless.
Yeah, he's getting clubbed by 18-year-olds. Don't just say he's getting clubbed by 18-year-olds, dude. It's ridiculous.
It's got to be the pitch clock.
Oh, Blue Jays to recall Alek Manoah for Friday's start versus Tigers, according to ESPN. Yes,
Tigers.
I'm hammering Detroit.
Yeah, I was going to say Javier Baez is going to
life saving.
And Detroit's hammering Alek. Your point.
Torkelson 4 home runs. They're all line up. Javier Baez 4 home runs.
What do you think about Giolito on the move?
I'm tough about that. Because,
White Sox fire sale, baby.
I feel like Giolito's been one of those pitchers that's super hit or miss. And
Jake Berger.
He kind of, dear Lord, he kind of began to find his stride now. The more and more that I look at him, he looks like he's finally fitting into what he
Doesn't matter though.
He could be.
Trash.
They are bad, though. I will admit they are bad. I predicted them to win 90 games, and they're probably not even going to win.
They're not bad, dude. They're horrible.
They're not bad. They're not horrible. They're bad, but they're not horrible. Okay, whatever. I think
They're pretty bad, James.
seeing...
50 losses.
Would you stop it? All of you, knock it off. I think seeing Giolito be moved, it would have to be for a right package. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head when you say the Carson Kelly trade for Paul Goldschmidt. That's kind of the same aura surrounding Giolito or someone like...
Lucas Giolito was traded for Adam Eaton.
I know, but I'm saying like Cease. They brought Cease in with Eloy and sent out Jose Quintana on that trade. Like, they're like, oh, we can't trade Cease. He was one of the bigger pieces we brought in, and he's supposed to help.
Well, and then he won a Cy Young. That's kind of...
Yeah.
He's done a lot more.
What about good old Tim Anderson? When are you guys?
I wouldn't mind seeing him go.
Yeah?
I could see him in some pinstripes.
Oh, my God.
He already wears
the pinstripes in New York.
The pinstripes that people care about.
Oh, man.
They just have another Field of Dreams game against the Sox, and he hits it again.
Oh, imagine.
I actually just saw he hit it wasn't a home run, but it was against Athletics the other day, and he hit a home run.
Oh.
They thought it was his first home run, and it was foul. He ran the whole it was 3-run jack. He ran the bases, and then they called a foul, and he had to go back. And he struck out.
He had to run back and then do it all again.
He probably pimped
I
it.
feel like the Sox are in a really weird spot.
This is one of those years where, like, and I said it
Even Grandal.
it's where we expected them to be really freaking good. I wouldn't mind seeing Grandal get moved to the deadline either. But if you move Giolito, you're going to end up moving one of your two catchers because Sebi's going to... Giolito is very picky about who he throws. So is Dylan.
So is Cease, yeah.
Who they throw to. So you're going to have to move one of those catchers. Yeah, he is.
That's crazy.
This is one of the years, like I was saying, this is one of the years for the White Sox where it's super hard to watch them play because they were so much hype around them. You fire Tony La Russa.
Sounds like the past 5
steps
years.
down. Tony La Russa steps down. They're supposed to be this great team, the best in the AL Central. Cleveland looks like they got weaker. Minnesota got stronger, I would say, with Pablo Lopez coming in. He was a really good...
Sonny Drake killing it.
The division's terrible, James. I don't know what you're trying to say.
I'm saying that at the beginning of the year, they said that
you know what's crazy?
would be really good, and now they're not.
The first place team in the division wouldn't be in third place in any other division of baseball.
I'm just saying, listen, I'm saying that the White Sox have one of the teams this year where they were supposed to be super freaking good.
Were they supposed to be good this year?
And
they were
horrible. Yes.
Because Abreu left.
I think their best shot to even make a chance to even win it all was 2 years ago, and they lost to
I wouldn't mind seeing
Houston.
I wouldn't mind. Remolar's playing second. I like him. I wouldn't mind seeing Tim Anderson get traded because they have Wes Kath, Colson Montgomery down in the
DM alumni.
They could call those guys out. Give them time.
Is Wes in AAA right now, or is he double?
I saw him play my junior year.
He
played DM, and it was insane. We lost to DM by I think 15.
He's in high.
That was insane, bro. He was just built different. He's the guy who went to DM and got drafted by
the White Sox.
Yeah, White Sox.
Second round.
They have a lot of shortstop depth in this.
No way he comes up. Is he going to come up soon?
No.
I was going to say I feel like he'd be next
draft full of a lot of infield depth.
Tim Anderson and Lucas Giolito for Jordan Lawler, and
the Cardinals aren't training Lawler. He was one of the best prospects in the league.
D-backs.
Oh, sorry.
But I think they could trade Lawler.
Who plays for the Cardinals? Who am I thinking of?
If you're going to get an all-star pitcher.
Lars Nootbaar?
No. Lars.
Jordan Walker.
That rookie. Yeah, Jordan Walker. Poof. They wouldn't give him up for Tim Anderson.
You're saying,
or Giolito.
I think they could give up Jordan Lawler, and I think they could.
It would hurt.
Gio or Cease. I think a new change of scenery would be good for them. I mean, that marketplace is toxic. The fans are toxic. The front office is toxic. The media is toxic. I mean, that's not a fun city to play in right now. I mean,
real quick, I'm just going to just look directly at this camera.
Although I have my
go ahead and switch to this camera real fast for me, Ryan. If Dylan Cease or Lucas Giolito become an Arizona Diamondback, not only will I shave my head, but I will buy their jersey. You have my word. If it happens, I will shave my head and buy their jersey.
There's a pretty good chance it's going to happen too.
So screw it.
Wait, who were the players again?
Dylan Cease or Giolito.
If they become a D-back, you're shaving them.
Get ready to shave your head. And we're gonna do the head shaving live on here. It's gonna be a live. It's gonna be a live broadcast.
16.
You got a tarp we can put on the ground here.
It's gonna be a live.
Ryan,
you're paying for the jerseys too.
I'm buying myself. I'm not buying y'all jerseys.
You're buying us all Giolito jerseys.
If Gio becomes a Diamondback, can you imagine that path of he was horrible in Washington and now he's now he's here and he's better.
He started 3 games.
The complete opposite of that.
No wasn't good.
He was 19 years old, number one prospect. There's a lot of pressure. He had Strasburg to
Steven
overcome.
No, but I'll take, like you said, Chance. If Tim and Giolito or Cease, I would then give up Lawler. But if there's nothing for the right package, I really want to see Lawler come up. What was he, second pick, third pick a couple years ago?
By the way, my heart is...
He's been killing it in AAA.
Oh, man, 6 Eastern on August 2nd.
Where's
that was last year.
Our pick last year. What's his name?
Drew Jones.
He's hurt himself in swinging.
He's not... It's tough. I'm not very high on him, honestly. Unfortunately, I don't understand how he's a top 20 prospect, but he's batting 172.
A lot of
in high A. So.
Jackson.
Let's talk about younger guys here for a second. We'll push in from the All-Star game, which Lane Thomas was snubbed from. Chance, I want to hear.
We'll see. He's got time. He might sneak in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of injuries that can happen. Let's I guess move into the Futures game. Last year we saw Jason Dominguez play in the Futures game, and he was probably expected to be really good.
The next Mike Trout.
You can't really beat Mike Trout. That's hard to do.
I remember that video. He was was he 18? And he was just looked like he was already
23.
Yeah.
Already in the MLB.
This year we have Harry Ford, who played for Team Britain in the World Baseball Classic. Jackson Holliday, Colt Keith, Justin Henry Malloy was really good in the Fall League. Nick York was good there. Kyron Paris is a very good middle infielder for the Angels. He'll be good in a couple years. We're not going to see, obviously, Drew Jones. He's hurt. Heston Kierstad for Baltimore is going to be in it. He's been very good. There's a lot of really good names, and that's just the AL. In the NL, you got Jackson Merrill and Noelvi Marte. Jordan Lawler is going to be there.
Lawler. You get to see how he does.
You got Pete Crow Armstrong with the Cubbies. He's been pretty good.
They don't ever have guys that are already in the league, right?
No, the Futures game is for guys who are trying.
The NBA does that.
It's pretty much
World USA.
It's the top 30 prospect.
They used to do rookies versus.
It looks really. This year's going to be really good to watch.
It would do the first-year guys versus the second-year guys in the NBA.
Oh, no, isn't Volpe? I thought he was isn't he in the league? No?
Yeah.
Volpe was in the league, yeah. I don't know if they sent him down. But...
Oh, wait, no, I'm looking at the 22.
He hit a home run last night.
I'm looking at the 22 roster.
Who was the shortstop for the...
He hit a home run.
That had, that huge arm.
He hit a home run last night.
That threw the ball, Mason Wynn?
Yeah,
name?
I think so.
Is he playing this year? Because I don't think he's got.
He's not in the Futures game. No,
I know there is one pitcher, a Phillies pitcher, Mick Abel.
Yep,
I can't wait to see how he does.
Yeah, there's the pitching name I don't know as many of, but I do know a lot of the, like I said, the middle infield.
That infield, all top 10
is really good.
Recruits.
Brady House from Washington,
stud.
James Wood from Washington,
number 5 prospect.
I saw him
on the
draft. This is totally unrelated, but I saw it was Perfect Game USA's Instagram. They made a mock draft.
Yeah,
they
they have
put
that one kid go number 1.
Yeah, and then Skeens at second and Dylan Cruz at third. And I was like, If like anybody in their right mind, just watched any little bit of college baseball, even a little bit of the World Series, it is Skeens and Cruz 1 and 2. You can mix and match.
So I was reading is that Cruz might not want to play for Pittsburgh, and so they might work out something that
fucking Eli.
Go freaking you. Like, these guys are there's guys behind him that want to get drafted.
$40 million.
Take them.
I mean, all I'm hoping for is the Nationals.
You want Skeens. Yeah. No, you
That's all I care about.
We have our top 5 prospects are all outfielders, so we don't need another outfielder. But we haven't had a pitching prospect like this in Strasburg. So, and our number 1 prospect for pitching, Cade Cavalli blew his arm out. Shocker.
Yikes.
That's rough.
Definitely need Skeens.
TJ or what?
Skeens would be money.
That's rough.
Oh, for sure. Like, that would be just what we need, especially with the prospects the Nationals have.
Could pull a little Bryce Harper, come back in like 5 months.
Good. He becomes like batter all of a sudden.
Or you give up.
That was crazy. Like,
he
back in record time.
But
it's this year's draft is one of the ones where it's kind of, first of all, I don't think they've ever positioned it in the middle of All-Star Weekend, have they?
Yeah,
so why they did that this year, I don't know. But I think it's going to be pretty good. It might actually pull in a lot of views.
Some big.
When is the draft normally?
I don't know, but this year it's on Sunday, the 9th.
No one ever cares about the draft because it's like so many more people than the NFL and NBA.
This year,
they care about it this year because
Cruz and Skeens.
Legit guys.
And
the third pick, Wyatt Langford from Florida. He's going to be
your top 3 picks all played in the World Series.
Says a lot.
It does.
And it just shows because Dylan Cruz, oh man, if it does get him, he was on base every game this whole year. Like, that's hard to do.
45-game hit streak into the
to get a hit every game in college against the best competition you can go against at the time. SEC, you played Florida, you played Wake Forest, you played all these big top 10 teams in college too. Like, I just don't understand how people could. And I love the kid, but I feel like Cruz or Skeens go 1 and 2. But
who has the first overall pick this year?
Pittsburgh,
and then Washington. Who's 3?
Detroit.
Oh,
they got them getting Wyatt Langford. So
outfield.
Yeah,
they need it.
He broke the record for most home runs in the College World Series.
Yeah, they need it. That's tough. I guess that makes sense. That could be very good. This year's draft is going to be very good. It's positioned, like I said, I think really well. You got Saturday is the Futures game, Sunday is the draft, and then Monday is the Home Run Derby, in which Luis Roberts, which I did not think you would make.
He's going to get ran in the first round.
You think Adley beats him?
I don't know who's going to win the Home Run Derby. The field's pretty even to me.
What the hell? Julio's in it.
Luis Robert is not a home run derby.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
If you're going to take anybody to win it, just take the guy who's representing the home field.
That's what I've learned. Julio or Pete would be the 2 I would go.
Yeah, I mean,
Pete going for 3.
Yeah,
3 home run derby champions.
Here, I found my list.
Betts is not. I'm sorry,
not winning it.
He needs to go bowling. What do you got? That's his
name. Cat winning the 3-point. It was Max Clark. Going first to the Pirates, Skeens to the Nats, and then
Guerrero Jr. probably has a chip on his shoulder. Because remember when he went crazy in 21?
Yeah,
he broke the single round record.
And you know who beat him? Pete Alonso.
Whatever.
Yeah, Pete Alonso
or whatever. But so yeah, Pete Alonso then went 2 for he went 2 years in a row. So I think Guerrero, honestly, even though I mean obviously this is all for show, I think Guerrero Jr. gets it done.
That's who you're taking? That's your pick?
Was it J-Rod?
Big Vlad?
Big Vlad.
J-Rod win it.
Because, bro,
J-Rod didn't win it last year, did he?
No, it was Juan Soto. Which, when I saw that, I was like, I totally forgot about that. And they do, like, the whole chain thing now. Like, they try to make it all hype. They do, like, $1 million chain.
Yeah, well, no one wants to hold up 2 silver bats.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Adolis.
What I liked it. I mean, I think it was cool.
Adolis Garcia versus Rosarino
bat. Oh, no,
that'll be a good first round.
That'll be a good one. Luis Robert versus Adley, I think, will be good on the fact that you're going to wonder who can hit more.
Guerrero versus...
Like, who will hit more?
It's going to be interesting to see Adley in there.
Oh, Pete Alonso's winning this, I think.
Yeah. Unless... The only way he loses is if Julio just turns up first.
Or Adley.
Knocks him out.
I think
If Julio doesn't break in his own stadium, there's an issue.
Julio has to turn at that first round and get rid of heat.
They'll juice the balls up for him.
This bucket's Julio's.
These buckets are everybody else.
Yeah, then you got Mookie.
Is Vlad just not hit home runs?
He's having a mediocre
Listen,
season.
I know, but
Vlad's going to walk Mookie.
All right.
Vlad's going to walk Mookie. I'll give it to him all day. After that, he's not beating Pete or Julio. He's not going to beat Pete or J-Rod.
Home field advantage isn't that big for the home run derby. Actually,
It definitely is.
Definitely
You're
is.
tired and the crowd's going
That crowd
bananas.
is all going
Bryce Harper,
it's not all going to be Seattle.
whatever year it was in
There'll be
Washington.
a lot of Seattle
13.
fans.
I guess a lot of people.
They got a great fan base.
They do.
They do, but a lot of people
Made it to the
travel
playoffs.
Also, game.
A lot of people travel, but more people are like, "Hey, I live here. Why don't I?"
You're right.
We would do
Our
the same
best
thing.
players in the home run derby. Let's go cheer them.
I'm saying after watching Vladdy in 21,
Vladdy's gonna win it.
I love Vlad. I think he'll beat Mookie, but that's it.
Yes. It's just Vladdy gets out of the first. Vladdy, unlike the Leafs, makes it out of the first round, but like the Leafs,
pitching,
I think
Leonard will.
doesn't make it out of the second.
I think Vlad
his dad is
just isn't home run derby material. I don't think. I mean, he's been in it before, but I just think Pete Alonso is going to win it, and I think just him having experience. And I'm looking at Adley Rutschman. I think he's got the best swing in baseball as a lefty.
what about Adolis Garcia or Randy Rosarina? I mean,
That'll be
Randy hasn't been a home run hitter.
It'll be so fun to watch that.
Those two are like very
those two
similar
go
guys.
against each other. I think Adolis will probably squeak it out just because
He's got a little more pop.
just a little more power in him. But it's just Pete knows how to time everything.
Yeah, he does.
Just like Joey
he's
Chestnut for
back to back, or is 1-2?
for the hot dogs. Like he gets in
comparing Pete Alonso
16
to Joey Chestnut.
go.
Joey Chestnut is literally like
Similar build.
They eat the same amount of food.
They do.
he is like the pinnacle of hot dog eating. Pete Alonso isn't the
pinnacle of home run derby.
I don't think
You know what
so.
Joey Chestnut is? Joey Chestnut is
Who's won it more than twice?
Joey Chestnut is Phil Kessler. Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
merged into one.
McGuire literally has like the farthest ball hit in Chase Field. I think that was BP or something. He hit it through like the panel, dude. McGuire is definitely like the home run king. He's the Joey Chestnut.
But will it ever break that Lucas Gonzalez hit?
Steroids or
Bottom
not?
ninth.
Steroids or not?
Are we considering Joey Chestnut an athlete just because he slides glizzies down his throat?
Bro,
We're comparing.
it almost
go.
didn't happen. It almost didn't happen on the fourth, and he was like, "No, we're doing this."
It had to be rigged, and and unfortunately, I have to
Bro,
say this.
he eats 62 hot dogs.
I took the over 72 hot dogs
Oh, you never.
because, and I'll be honest with you, I took the under last year.
You saying
'cause-
it's fake, Chance?
hear me out. all right?
Oh my God! How do you rig a hot dog?
Okay.
You're sitting there watching a man consume 62 hot dogs. I don't see how that's fake.
I didn't watch it first of all.
I didn't watch it either.
I'm
but
not
I've
that
seen-
much of a freak.
I've seen like clips of it, obviously. We're American here.
But so last year I took the under because he had a broken foot, and I was like, "Hey man, flu game."
Broken foot?
He had,
That's nothing to do with eating.
he had a broken foot, and the under hit. And also there was a Death Star protester he put in a headlock middle of the round.
Bro, now they put him in a headlock and then twisted his.
And then he still won. Yeah,
and they killed the man. Starts pounding.
Seriously.
But I did take the over this year. The rain delay definitely had a big effect.
Affected
I
everyone.
don't know how a human being does that. I get to pass 2 hot dogs and I'm done. 60.
They don't actually eat the hot dogs. They like.
No, I know.
I don't want to.
I know they're like.
Let's save it.
Dump
Save
it
the
in.
color
Dump it in
So
water.
They're consuming that amount of hot dogs.
so it's a sport.
18,000 calories in 10 minutes.
I'm just saying he is an American. He is a true American hero.
Does he have kids?
That's like a whole.
Probably.
Like, imagine telling your kids like that's what I do for a living. I
Imagine,
eat
like,
hot dogs for a living.
His dad finding out, oh, this is my son's special talent.
Just watching his highlights on
Just like a lot of people, once a year on America's birthday, he's
Joey Chestnut
pounding
highlights.
back
I wonder how much money this
in
guy.
pranks.
How did we get here? Like what? Where did we go wrong?
Happy birthday, America!
All show and then we just.
This is an American podcast, right? Hot dogs and baseball. All right.
America's flagship sports podcast.
Now I need to look up Joey Chestnut. I don't even know if he has.
I'm so lost on how we got here, but damn, do I love that we did.
He has a wife.
Oh, good Lord.
I don't know about
Amen.
kids stuff.
Oh my God.
Oh, he was pissed when the guy ran out. Like, he came out of the tunnel like.
We're gonna fucking do this thing. I need to gather the troops.
All the other participants were like, "Bro, relax." Like,
Joey.
All the fans.
6'1". He's almost 40 too. I mean,
He's We're gonna think about that Joey Chestnut retirement ceremony, man. We're gonna.
he earned more than 500.
he's gonna be
hang the hot dog
hang
shirt
the
on the
hot dog
rafters.
shirts, yeah.
he'll be the first anonymous hot dog eater of all ever.
He has more than $4 million.
The unanimous said
He's probably got some good spots.
he is my GOAT athlete.
Say, you said he's 40?
Yeah.
He's getting old, huh? 40 years old is just, he's up there now, huh?
Yeah.
if we're calling him a professional athlete, 40 years old.
We're ticking down to the end of the clock here. Let's go over it quick. Who wins the All-Star game? Who wins the...
I know. It always seems to be the American League every year. Like, it seems like that's the common theme.
No Shohei.
But I don't know.
Depends on the years. I feel like NL pitching's been a little...
People don't like the NL lineup this year, at least from what I've seen.
A lot of Braves.
People... some people don't like Carroll. I don't understand it. He's a dog.
Yeah.
But
they can go fuck themselves. He deserves to be in it.
Amen. The dog.
I'm gonna go with the American League just because I think they got more sluggers. But if Lane Thomas makes the National League team, then the National League team is winning by like 10 runs. I think Lane Thomas has like 3 home runs and like 8 RBIs and just goes ballistic.
All right, who wins the home run derby?
Go ahead, Jason. I need to look up this song.
Yes. I'm gonna pick. Okay, let's go, Luis Robert.
Jesus.
No, it's gonna be Pete on.
No, we're talking about All-Star game.
No, we're talking about home run derby now.
I'm gonna go Julio.
No, we already did that.
No.
Oh, fine. Well, I already told it earlier. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., baby.
I'm also going
I'm gonna go Julio. I think the home team
It'll be big.
is a big effect. I've seen it multiple times with other guys.
Okay, hear me out.
Oh, yeah. Give me the NL.
Julio walks out of the dugout wearing his hat backwards like Ken Griffey Jr. He won the whole thing. It's over. Julio.
That's great. He's still batting 238.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
He still wins the home run derby.
Blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Oh, man. All right. Well, that was a good...
Peak Mariners base.
I think the National League wins it this year, though. Their roster's looking more complete after the injuries that have happened.
That was a great episode 14 of the Wildcard Podcast. Once again, from the Go Live studios in Phoenix, Arizona. My name is James Mackey alongside Curt Arnold, Chancel Blanc, and Jason Cousineau.
Yeah, boy.
We will talk to you in episode number 15. Later.
You've been listening to the Wildcard Podcast. Download and subscribe today on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more.